Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Pearson Podcast, episode 36. I believe it's 36. If you are new here, welcome and hello. My name is Riley, and this is the Pearson Podcast. We talk about life, we talk about fun stuff, and we have a good old time. Now, right off the bat, I'm sure you'll notice, well, I hope you notice that the quality is a bit better. And right off the bat, let's adjust the camera just a little bit, because you can see a little bit too much of my crotch and a little bit too much above my head. So let's just zone in the camera a little bit, and I'll show you what I mean. Now that's pretty much perfect. Pretty much perfect. Yeah, so I hope you're all doing well. If you are new here, because I saw I've got a few new subscribers, thanks for joining the Pearson podcast pack, I guess. In this episode, now I'm sure I named the episode something like, I wasted 2 years of my life or something. I don't know if I'm gonna go stoop that low to title it. I don't know. I never really want to be a clickbait, channel at all. But it's just something funny. So basically what I'm going to be talking about today is my transition from, oh yeah, sorry. I was going to talk about the new setup. So, I had the thought of restarting this podcast, but I will not. The weird stuff of me adjusting the camera, and it's like, why don't you just, that was like 5 seconds in, why don't you just restart the podcast with the new shot angle? I keep everything in, because I'm real. You know what I'm saying? Now, the new setup, if you will. I'm recording this on my ADD, and got the ADD, got my microphone arm, got the microphone all set up. I will be playing around with the placement of my camera, because I want there to be a way where I can fit in all of these little knickknacks. I wanted to get my shelves of knickknacks in it, so you could see everything that's on there, and I would just put the camera like right here so you could see behind me, but my bed is right here, you can't see, right to the left of me, and it takes up dang near 75% of my room. So yeah, I have a small room, but I've got a room, ladies and gentlemen, and I am appreciative of that. So yeah, I normally have been recording my podcasts on my iPhone 12 Pro Max. Now that was good. It was it was decent, but the audio quality was it was like too good sometimes. Like, you could hear stuff going on downstairs. The iPhone mics are very weird like that. Like, yeah, it's just very weird. Now after I record this, I'm sure I'll figure something, where the placement of the mic is best and things like that, but I'm going to do my best. So, yeah, I've been recording it with my iPhone and would have to transfer it from my iPhone to my computer, and the mic quality wasn't as good as I wanted it, and, and a big one that I'm forgetting and I'm remembering just now is I would have to always get up and go behind and see if it was still recording, and that would mess with my flow, because I would get on a really nice flow. I'm going good. I'm realizing, wow, this is going really good. This podcast is going great. And then I'm like, shoot, I don't want to be wasting my time. I'm gonna go and see if it's still recording. And yeah, sure enough, so most of the time it was. But I had this time, probably recent, I think like 4 or 5 episodes ago, where I think it was called Traveling Stories and Fail, where like, I recorded a great podcast. The first half was okay, but the second half was banging. And I was like, gosh dang, that was a good podcast. And, ended. All right, thank you everybody for watching. And I went around, and the ding dong thing was black. My screen was black, and I wasn't even recording. And my heart sank. I'm like, please let it have recorded. Stop recording like 5 minutes prior or something. But, of course, in an hour-long session, it only recorded a half an hour, so it cut off halfway through. Bruh. Yeah. So that wasn't great, and ever since then, I was like, I need to make a change. I've been buying webcams, because basically, I wanted it all to be recorded through OBS, straight to my computer, already have the video and mic synced up, and be great. And I thought the only way that would be possible was through a webcam. And I downloaded, I bought one webcam. It was like a 4K webcam. I should remember the name because I would give you a live review right now. It sucked. I mean, it was like $70, so yeah, I know $70 isn't a lot compared to this $1,000 camera. But $70 said 4K, true 4K, and I imported it, and I don't even think it was 4K. It was more like 2K, and it was like insanely noisy. Noisy and like grainy. The video was grainy. So I was like, okay, well that obviously isn't gonna work. So basically I remembered, I'm like, wait, I may be able to hook up my Canon DSLR and use it as a webcam. And I had to buy like $200 worth of wiring and crap, but it worked. So yeah, that's how I'm recording it now, on my DSLR. My DSLR is hooked to my computer. I can see what I'm recording there. I can see the shot and everything. This is great. This is great. Sorry, I repeated that because I just saw like my mic like maxed out. Hopefully that's not a glitch that's been going through this whole podcast. But yeah, this is the first. It's a test run practically through with this, and God, I pray that it goes smoothly. Like if I could use this setup every time, I'd be happy with it. The only thing that makes me a little worried is because I'm using my really good camera to do this, like the camera I would use to make my short films and photography and everything like that. So if it like overheated or something like that, that would make me quite sad, because I'm not rolling in the dough. But yeah, hopefully it works, and hopefully it goes smoothly. So yeah, from the DSLR hooked to my computer, my microphone is hooked to my computer, and both of them are being recorded through OBS. So it's a pretty good setup as it is right now, if it doesn't fail. Yeah, that's enough of that. And like I said, I'll move around the camera as episodes go on and try at different angles. So on to the whatever the title is. I am, right off the bat, I am transitioning from male to, no, I'm just kidding. I am transitioning from Blender. I'm a 3D artist. Well, I'm just a graphic designer / 3D artist / philanthropist. No, I'm just kidding. Transitioning from Blender, which is a 3D program, to Unreal Engine 5. Now, I've been learning Blender for, well, I started in 2013, and then, well, probably 2014, then 2015, and then stopped when I graduated high school, because I graduated high school in 15, and then probably started back up again, like seriously, like probably two years ago or something. Um, Maybe even longer, maybe shorter, who knows, but it doesn't matter. I've been doing Blender and learning it for 2 years. And now I basically found out that I'm going to basically just chuck that in the trash to learn Unreal, because Unreal is better than Blender in pretty much every way. Sorry, Blender. Like, I know there are things that I am going to use Blender for, like commission projects, just because, like, until I learn Unreal. And I'm going to be getting into the reasons why, but, why I'm transitioning. But, so, basically, why I'm transitioning. If you don't know anything about Unreal Engine, it's a game engine right off the bat, but you can still get photorealism, and that's my art style. I do photorealism. My OBS is using 60% of my CPU. Is that normal? Hopefully. No, let's not get distracted. 64%. Not gonna get distracted. Oh, man. I can't even tell you guys how low-key stressed I am right now, because I just want this to work. You know what I mean? I just want there to be a smooth podcast setup without sacrificing quality. Like, this would be the max amount of quality that I would feel super good with. Really good microphone. I know the quality isn't as good as... Yeah, I need to, like... I don't know why, but I need to figure out how to make the quality better than what it is, because it looks good in OBS, and then I export it, and it looks not as good as what I'm seeing right there. So it's weird. I don't know why that is. But it's like, I can't even tell you, I'm using my really expensive camera, and I'm just worried about using my expensive stuff. Like, if this computer broke, I would be quite upset, obviously. I bought all this stuff with my own money, and I am really focusing on saving every single ding-dong dime right now, or as much as I possibly can. And it's just stressful, because there are so many more things that I want to buy. And I know when things come up, like, I don't even know why I brought this up and why I'm starting to talk about this, but I just see my CPU is, like, going, like, 60%, plus or minus, like, 6%, but it's using, like, 60% of my CPU right now, where it's like, is that normal? Is it normal to be using that much of my CPU for OBS? Hopefully. And for my camera, I felt it, and it felt a little warm. I don't know. You know what I mean? It's just like, obviously, if I was making money from this podcast, I wouldn't give a crap. But, I know I'm not going to be making money for another, 200 episodes probably, or something like that. But what I will say concerning money is I am going to start a Patreon when I hit 100 subscribers. And I'm not really going to go into it, but if you know what a Patreon is, then you know, and if you don't, then you can just wait until I release the link to it when I get 100 subscribers. But that'll help, to the people that want to support me, kind of help me out with some of the expenses. But just a warning, I guess, if I see it get like 70% of my CPU, I'm probably gonna end the podcast and just like do some research and see if that's normal. And also, whatever. Let's get on to some juice. So, there are multiple reasons why I'm switching from Blender to Unreal. One, and I'm just gonna list them off in no particular order. Blender it crashes a lot, and it makes it, and for whatever reason, I'm having difficulty explaining it because I I you know I want to explain it in a way that would make everybody be able to understand, but also, if you already understand, not make it boring for the people that already understand. So, I apologize if I skip over something that you maybe don't understand. Um, and I also apologize for people that already know what I'm about to say, and I'm going in more detail than you'd like. So, basically, there's this render engine inside of Blender called Eevee, and it's like a real-time GPU accelerated render engine that basically makes it to where I can look at what the render view is in real time practically. But for whatever reason, I don't know why, but on my Mac, I don't know if it's because they're older, or I don't know if it's because I did stuff in Boot Camp, which is, the Windows section of Macs. I don't know, it's because I updated the drivers on Windows and then went back, or who knows, I have no idea. I gotta take a drink of some drip. Sorry about that. So yeah, I don't know what is causing it, but Eevee used to run great, and now it takes like a couple minutes to render a frame, which, if you know anything about Blender and Eevee, it's like it should take like 2 seconds to render the frame. So I don't know if my computer is just getting old, and because, I do things that normal people don't necessarily do, it reduces the lifetime on it, but it's like, God, I can't keep buying these computers. I had an iMac before this, and I probably have had this iMac for 5 years, and that's a decent amount of time, but shoot, maybe I'll have to buy a new computer. I don't know. I don't know if I'm to that point, but it definitely is older, and what I realize now with 3D rendering, and you know this if you're a 3D artist, is the most important part of your hardware is your GPU, your graphics card. And my graphics card in this is okay. It's it's a AMD, so that, right off the bat isn't that great, but it's an AMD I don't know what the name of it, but it has 4 gigabytes of dedicated VRAM, which for 3D rendering is like nothing. It's not nothing, but it's just not like, you're gonna have a tough time in most things. Your render times are gonna be low. The two things that I have going for me is it's got a good CPU. It's got 4 gigahertz CPU, and RAM. I've got 32 gigabytes of really good RAM. So, I don't know. I'm kind of all over the place with this podcast, and I apologize for that. Um, it's you know, it's kind of like, if I'm being honest, I'm doing this podcast, and whilst doing this, I'm thinking about if it's worth putting my DSLR at risk, if it's worth putting my computer at risk, and if what I'm doing is even doing those things. Like, is my DSLR being a little warm? Is that normal? Is my computer using 60% of its CPU? Is that normal? I don't know. But, yeah. So, basically, Blender has two engines. Has Cycles, which is ray tracing and gives the best, most realistic lighting. Ray tracing is basically recreating what light does in real life. Bounce light, everything like that. Perfect physically based renders. And Eevee is like trying to recreate that, and it does a good job, but it's not perfect. So I am recording at 60 frames a second, so maybe if I bumped it down to 30 frames a second, it would be a lot easier on my system. I'll probably do that, because it'll be using, right now it's using twice as much as it would be using as at a 30. So I'll do that next time. So maybe I'll cut this short at 30 minutes. I'll do another 9 minutes. I apologize. Really, I've been chomping at the bit to do another podcast, but I also have to realize that, or remember that, like, like, I don't have the financial ability to buy another computer if my computer went kaput, or buy another DSLR if it just, stopped working for whatever reason. So it's a difficult situation, but you guys don't care about that, probably. So I think, so right off the bat, probably the three biggest reasons why I'm switching to Unreal. I'll just stop the podcast after I tell you after I explain the three. So, one, it's better optimized. It's owned by Epic Games, the people that, did Fortnite. So right off the bat, it's like, they got money, that they're really putting time into making this good. Blender has some amazing people behind it as well. I'm not taking anything away from that, but I know that Epic Games or Unreal will advance quicker than Blender is able to. So it's not going to crash as often. It's going to get updates more frequently. It's probably going to have a bigger audience, and all that stuff. So that's one. The second one is it's a video game engine. So I'll be able to say, I like making worlds, making realistic scenes, make a forest, whatever. It's so advanced that you can literally click a button called, just click play, and you're instantly immersed. And you instantly have converted it into a video game, just like that. You can walk around your world, look around. It's super, super cool, and honestly mind-blowing. Yeah, that's like super cool. Super cool to me, because I love video games, and if I had the ability to, like, walk around my worlds, that'd be super, super cool. And then the third and final biggest reason why I'm switching is because of Megascans, Quixel Megascans. Now, there are a few things that I need to go into what Megascans are. Megascans is the biggest library of movie quality photo scanned 3D models and textures. 3D models are obviously assets like a rock or a wagon or a car. All those are 3D models that I can put into my, and it's most of them are like nature assets, rocks, logs, cool stuff like that. And it's integrated, and usually you have to pay for it. Like, I could use it in Blender, but I have to pay, 15, 30, 60 bucks a month and I only get, a few models every single month. But with Unreal, you get all of them for free, as many as you want, and that's mind blowing, because you get movie quality assets. They use these assets, these same assets in movies, ladies and gentlemen, because they look that good. And another thing about Unreal Engine 5, which Unreal Engine 5 is in beta right now. It's not fully released, but one of the biggest things that is released in Unreal Engine 5 is this thing called Nanite. Nanite basically means you can put more detail in a scene without it slowing you down. Detail in 3D rendering world is called polygons. It's basically shapes that make up the detail. So obviously if you have a sphere and it's made up of 5 shapes, it's going to be boom, 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 boom. It's going to be pretty jagged. But if you have a sphere made of 200 polygons or shapes, then the smoothness is going to be a lot more smoother. So basically, the more polygons, the more detail, but also the slower the more data your system has to calculate. So basically what Nanite does is, the closer you get to an object, the more polygons it gives the object, and the further you go away from it, the lower amount of polygons, because you don't need as many polygons when it's a tree super far away. You're not going to see all that detail, all those intricate details. You don't need that. You know what I mean? So you can put in so much more detail and not risk, slowing your viewport down a lot. So that's like super, super revolutionary. Like, it is going to change. I believe it's going to change video games. Video games are going to be able to look so much cleaner and more detailed. It's going to look insane. Man, I mean, and especially now, I can practically make a video game, and I don't have any coding experience, anything like that, because it's all node-based. Coding is basically being replaced with nodes, and it's really something. Yeah, but I apologize that this podcast is so short. I need to do some research about the heat in my DSLR and the CPU usage of my computer. I'll re-watch this and see, the audio quality, the video quality, everything like that. Truly apologize that it's so short. I should have done this research before, but I was just chomping at the bit to do a podcast because, as you knew, the previous 2 were already pre-recorded in Arizona, so I haven't made a podcast in a couple weeks. But yeah, I love doing this, ladies and gentlemen. I really do love doing this. I appreciate more than anything you guys watching. Being a YouTuber is something that I've wanted to do my entire life. Not my entire life, but ever since I watched YouTubers, which is, I don't know, 2010, something like that, maybe sooner. I don't know, but it's kind of like when Modern Warfare 2 was big. That's basically when I started, and that was 15. No, I don't know how many years ago it was, but I've been, and I started a YouTube channel doing Minecraft videos. I think it was probably 10 years ago, but I, gave up on that. Maybe I'll make a video like reacting to those videos one day. It was fun, but yeah, ladies and gentlemen, like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. I want to have this podcast, and if it becomes successful, maybe I'll do 2 a week, and because I love doing it. I really do, and it's not just gonna be podcasts. I'm gonna make short films. I'm gonna do traveling videos. I'm gonna do just whatever videos. I love making content. I really do. I'm gonna do live streams. I'm gonna do everything. Like, this is my passion in life, and I can't thank you guys enough for watching. But yeah, that'll be the end of this podcast. I truly hope you guys got something out of it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Yeah, see you every single ding dong Monday. Thank you very much for watching. Peace.